Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Scott Bergman. I'm a member of the Nutridyne science team, and I'm here to introduce to you the very new Nutridyne Dynamic Detox formula for Phase 1, Phase 2 liver detoxification. Some of the things to discuss are maybe some frequently asked questions. First one on everyone's mind is going to be purity and quality control. Very, very important for us to know that Nutridyne's facility is quadruple certified, 4 separate certifications for purity and quality control. That's very, very different than some other companies that may be adhering to certain guidelines as opposed to actually having a facility that has earned those certifications. Another thing we should talk about is the efficacy of the formulation itself. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And maybe more important than anything else, as field doctors, we know that the most important protocol that we're ever going to provide somebody is a protocol that they're going to stick to and adhere to. So taste is very, very important. It's one thing to have a detoxification formula that works. It's another one that tastes good so that people will actually use the formula and get the results. So Nutridyne's Dynamic Detox comes in vanilla and chocolate, and they taste great. You really ought to give it a try. In this day and age, we're not really talking about whether we are toxic, but how toxic are we? And more importantly, how efficiently are we eliminating those toxins so that they don't affect our bodies? As far back as 2004, they did an extensive study on umbilical cord blood, and they found over 280 toxic chemicals in the umbilical cord blood. 180 of those chemicals were known carcinogens. 90% of the toxins that we're exposed to come from our food. So pesticides, insecticides, fungicides, herbicides. For our meats and our dairies, we're looking at hormones, antibiotics, steroids. So those things are on our food, in our food. We're ingesting that. It's not a question of whether it's creating a toxic burden in our body. It's whether we can keep up with that load or not. So let's do a quick synopsis of the detoxification pathways. We've got Phase 1, Phase 2 detoxification within the liver. Phase 1 occurs through the cytochrome P450 enzymes. What they do is they take our toxins, whether they're endotoxins or exotoxins, endotoxins being toxins that we produce ourselves through normal metabolism, and even the bacteria that we carry, whether it's good bacteria or bad bacteria, they have their own metabolism. Those are all toxins. Those are endotoxins. Exotoxins are the toxins that are outside of our bodies that we bring in, whether we breathe it in or with cosmetics or from the food like we discussed. So we take those toxins in the liver in Phase 1, and we transform them into highly reactive, more dangerous free radicals than the original toxin in the beginning. So once it turns into a reactive oxygen species, we hopefully get that moving into Phase 2, as long as Phase 2 is working right. And then we surround that with a water molecule, and then we eliminate it through the kidneys, which we call Phase 3. So Phase 1, we convert the toxin into a more highly reactive intermediate. That goes to Phase 2, surround it with a water molecule, we excrete it. An acronym that I made up is called NERD, which stands for Nutrient Reserve Deficiency. A lot of the research is looking at things like liver congestion, and that it occurs because the nutrients that are supposed to be stored in the liver are reduced, those reserves are reduced, and because of the lower amount of nutrients in the organ, it's not able to function properly. So nutrient reserve deficiency is something that I like to think about a lot. Some of the nutrients that we need for metabolic detoxification, like in phase 1, we need things like B3, B2, B6. We need our methyl donors. We need folate and B12. We need branched chain amino acids. We need phospholipids. We've got a whole list just for phase 1. Then remember, we turn that into a highly reactive free radical. So we need a lot of antioxidants capable of managing that load so that it can be shifted into phase 2 without it dumping into the system. So we need vitamin A, we need vitamin E, we need vitamin C, CoQ10, selenium. We need a lot of antioxidants to help manage the free radical load so that we can shift it into phase 2. Phase 2 is more of an amino acid profile. So we need taurine, we need glycine, we need cysteine, methionine, glutamine. All of those amino acids help bring that water molecule around the toxin so that we can excrete it normally. One of the ingredients in the dynamic detox formula is pomegranate. Pomegranate is high in ellagic acid, and we know that pomegranate extract has been studied extensively in both phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. We know that it inhibits NF-kappa B, so it inhibits inflammatory response that it can occur in an overburdened liver. But let's say it's not even in the liver. What if your gut is inflamed? Your liver still has to deal with that. So having a pomegranate extract, I think, is very, very important for this formula. It also helps regulate NRF2, which is what is used to regulate our antioxidant management for the free radicals. Another ingredient in the formula is curcumin. Curcumin helps with something called the active efflux. It's essentially a cellular pump, and so physically pumps toxins out of the cell. Curcumin will do that. Another thing that curcumin does is it's been extensively studied to reduce fatty liver, extensively studied to reduce oxidative stress. They even have done studies for inflammation in the hippocampus, and that curcumin can reduce the inflammation in the hippocampus by reducing pesticide exposure from the brain, the specific organophosphates. Curcumin will also detoxify mercury, lead, and cadmium. So we know that it's a heavy metal detoxifier as well. Quercetin is in the formula, and Nutridyne felt that that was important because of its ability to reduce LDL oxidation. So for heart health, it's also a very powerful heavy metal detoxifier like lead, mercury, cadmium, and arsenic, and also has been studied for its neurodegenerative, anti-neurodegenerative effects. So quercetin is in the formula. Taurine is in there. Taurine, like we talked about, is a conjugate for phase 2 detoxification. It's a heavy metal detoxifier. It does a lot of other things. So I thought it was really smart that they put taurine in the formula, not only for its heavy metal aspects, but also for its neuroprotective aspects as well. Green tea catechins has been extensively researched for both phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. They saw that 500 milligrams of green tea catechins can reduce the incidence of specific cancers. There's 250 milligrams in the dynamic detox. So 2 servings a day gives you the green tea catechins for the research shown for protecting against cancer, also against non-alcoholic fatty liver and reducing the fat within the liver. Some of the cancers that was researched with green tea catechins was esophageal cancer, lung cancer, stomach cancer, colon cancer, and prostate cancer. So we're getting all of those benefits with putting in the green tea catechins. Milk thistle as well is a phase 1, phase 2 detoxifier. Reduces NF-kappa B, so inflammation, COX-2, another anti-inflammatory, and IL-6, another inflammatory marker. So we've got a massive amount of anti-inflammatories with our phase 1, phase 2 detoxification. This is great, again, for someone who's got an inflamed gut. We know that it's going to burden the liver. So putting in some anti-inflammatories for the gut is going to help with liver detoxification in the long run. So this formula is great for both of those things. There was a study done with milk thistle on non-alcoholic fatty liver, and they showed a reduction in C-reactive protein, reduction in cytokines, normalization of triglycerides and cholesterol, and even insulin resistance, a normalization of the liver enzymes, and a reduction of fat within the liver. This is a chart of ingredients, and this is Dynamic Detox with 2 other formulations from other companies. And what is in the Dynamic Detox and how much and how they made it taste is remarkable. Some of the formulations that are highly effective don't have any of these ingredients. They don't have milk thistle. Some of them don't have any taurine. The amount of B vitamins in the Dynamic Detox versus these other formulas is much, much greater. The research is out. There's more updated research showing that we need higher levels of these nutrients to allow the liver to do what it's supposed to do. So we put that into the Dynamic Detox. So with 2 servings a day, you're able to get that patient out of the hole that they're in and really allow their body, specifically their liver, to do what it was meant to do, and that is to pump out the toxins out of the body. So who is this for? This is right now my go-to product. So anybody in my functional medicine practice who comes in, whether they're inflamed from sports performance, where I know that the liver is overburdened, whether they have true biotransformation issues, whether they have a gut issue, whether it's hormone imbalance, and even if it's some sort of endocrine issue like an adrenal thyroid, we got to get the liver working more efficiently. So for me, this is the go-to to begin with everyone. I encourage everyone to give this a try on your patients. I think you're going to be very pleased and surprised with how effective it is, how easy it is to prescribe this one product for so many different issues, and how compliant the patients are going to be. Thanks for listening. Get out there and go heal people.